Hi there, I'm Carrie Gatto with Keller Williams Realty, and today on Let's Get Down to Business, I'm talking with Laura Rees, who is the owner of Taproot Nurseries. Laura, so nice to have you here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Very nice to meet you.
You too.
Please start us off by describing your business.
Yeah. Um, so I run Taproot Nurseries. We're a houseplant services business, mostly digital and virtual. I operate from home and we go out to see clients who need help with their houseplants. Basically, a lot of house or plant sitting at their house, some repotting, pest treatment. We do a lot of consultations for people who are maybe just getting into houseplants and need a little bit of guidance on how to care for the ones they have or the ones they want to acquire. Some styling tips here and there for people who want them. So our consultations are kind of the bread and butter of the business, that and plant sitting. And the consultations we do on site for people who are within 5 to 10 miles of Somerville and Cambridge, Massachusetts, or we do a lot of virtual as well for people who are COVID conscious or for people outside of that range.
This is so great to know that this service exists. This is fantastic because you bring, these beautiful plants into your home, and then it can be very much a struggle, or you get into these situations where you're just not sure what to do. So
Yeah. And the houseplant industry has actually had a huge boom during this COVID era. People have been home from work and stuck in their homes and need a little bit of cheer in their lives. So a lot of people have really delved deeply into the hobby and acquired a lot of plants quickly. Um, which is great for mental health, but then also there's the care aspect of it. So there are a lot of people who have kind of found themselves with huge collections in a short amount of time and are looking for a little bit of help. So we see a lot of clients who are in that situation.
and what inspired you to start the business?
Um, a couple of things, mostly passion for houseplants myself. I have many, probably close to 300 in my very tiny condo. Yeah. Lots of houseplants. So I've been caring for plants for years, and increasingly rare ones, semi-rare, hard to find plants that have really specific care requirements. And so I've developed a lot of knowledge and experience, mostly that I thought it would be wonderful to share that with people, especially now when the houseplant industry is just booming.
Mm.
Um, so I'm part of a lot of local Facebook groups that are specific to the plant hobby, the houseplant hobby. And I was seeing a big need for plant sitters and for plant advice, basically, people asking just like every other day or once a week for someone to come help them with their plants. And so one time I just pulled the trigger and said, hey, I'm going to start a business. Um, to do
Nice.
just that. Yeah. And at the time, my son was 6 years or 6 months old. And we were still kind of in that COVID lockdown frame of mind. And so I had quit my job to stay home with him and was really feeling I love being a stay-at-home mom. I'm still doing that as well. But I wanted to do something for me too, and something that was a little bit more adult and got me out into the world a little bit more. So the timing, everything just coincided perfectly with I saw the need, I had a little bit of extra time, and I had the experience. So it all just came together perfectly.
Great.
Yeah.
And you clearly have a green thumb.
I've developed one. I say that anyone can have a green thumb. You have it's a learned it's a learned body part.
Good to know. Where are you located?
So we're in Somerville. I'm in Somerville, and
Right.
I operate just from my home office, and then travel out to see clients. So most of our clients right now are in Somerville and Cambridge, but we're hoping to expand pretty shortly here.
Fantastic. And what do you love about your location?
Working from home is wonderful, especially as a stay-at-home mom. My partner works from home part-time and on-site part-time, so we kind of Tetris our schedules so that I can go see clients while he's home, while the baby's sleeping, or he's not a baby anymore, he's a toddler, while he's sleeping. And so I love the flexibility of being able to mostly work from home, do all the back end stuff at home,
Yeah.
but also getting out into the world a little bit and seeing people and interacting with people who have the same passion for plants that I do. Yeah, working from home, especially in Somerville, it's such a Somerville and Cambridge, it's just the perfect clientele. There are a lot of young professionals who are very, very into houseplants or have just found this niche hobby. Um, so yeah, the location is really perfect.
Great. And what do your clients love specifically about your services?
Um, That's a good question. I think what I've kind of gleaned is that for a lot of people, houseplants it's not a necessity. Our service isn't a necessity. Basically, it's kind of a luxury, and houseplants are a luxury. And as such, people become like really emotionally attached to their plants and want them to thrive and do well and uh, make the plant as happy as the plant makes them.
Mm.
So, a lot of people have, you know, told me horror stories about having their friend come water their plant while they've been on their plants while they've been on vacation and coming back to find that the friend has overwatered this one that was a dry needs plant and underwatered this one that was a wet needs plant. And because every genus and species of plant needs slightly different care. And it's when you have a large collection full of many different plants or different genera and species, it's you can't approach each plant with the same care. So it's hard for a layperson who's not deeply integrated in the hobby to take care of plants. So most
Right.
of our clients, specifically the plant sitting clients, are just so relieved and happy to have um, professionals who love plants and know the care requirements for each different type of plant, know how to take care of those plants and take care of them well while they're away. It's just a relief, a load off their mind because their plants are like their pets. It's an emotional service we provide as well as a practical service.
Yeah, definitely. It's the saddest thing when you come home from a trip and you find your plants are dead.
It's the worst. I couldn't find anyone to water my plants while I was away. That was part of the reason I wanted to start the business, so I could hire people to come come take care of my plants.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm.
And being a mom of a young child, how have you integrated motherhood and being a business owner?
Yeah. To be honest, a lot of compartmentalization has been necessary. He's still very young, so he's about a year and a half now. So he has a hard time participating, but um, I guess I didn't mention this. We also cultivate plants for sale occasionally, a specific
Cool.
genus called Hoya. Hoya, rare and hard to find species of Hoya. So I have a little studio set up in my basement, and we'll go down there together and tend to the plants. I'm a little bit hesitant to let him help too much, but we like to look at them and talk about them. And he seems interested, and I'm excited to share that more with him as he grows up.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, I think that'll be fun, a fun thing we can bond over.
Yeah, for sure. Any like funny stories you could share about being a mompreneur?
Um, I'm not sure you would call this funny or not. I do in hindsight, but I'm actually currently pregnant and expecting in about 6 weeks.
Wow,
Um,
congrats.
oh, thank you. Yeah, exciting. A girl this time. But so a few weeks back, I had a client drop off some plants for boarding, which is something I do small amounts of because I only have so much space to board clients' plants. But she dropped off about 30 plants, and normally I
Wow.
would yeah, I would inventory them, take pictures of them, put them in a spreadsheet, put them under grow lights according to their needs, put them in greenhouses, do all that. But she left. I had these 30 plants sitting out in the studio, and I started having contractions and had to go immediately to the hospital. And everything was fine. It didn't end up being preterm labor, but I was in the hospital overnight. And they were discussing whether it was preterm labor and whether I would have to be transferred hospitals and deliver a preemie. And the whole time I'm lying in bed, not I should have been thinking about, oh my gosh, my baby, like she's gonna come early, what are we gonna do? But I was mostly thinking those plants, those 30 plants in my studio, what am I gonna do with them? Like if I'm gonna be in the hospital for a few days, they need care. Um,
Oh my gosh.
so I guess that's a story about how motherhood and plants or and being a business owner are sometimes in conflict and hard to
Yeah.
manage both. But the
Sometimes you
good news
can't
is,
compartmentalize completely.
yeah, yes, sometimes it's impossible, and that leads to making decisions like while I was in the hospital, I decided on the spot I'm going to hire somebody. So that's
Good
what
decision.
led me, yeah, that's what led me to hire my first employee, who starts this week actually.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, anything exciting coming up?
Yeah, a lot. I feel really like a lot. We're doing a plant market this weekend and hopefully a couple more throughout the summer. Um, Now that I've decided to hire someone and bring her on staff, it's going to open up a lot of doors. I've kind of kept demand a little bit plateaued because of my inability to take on too many clients at once. Now
Mhm.
that I'm hiring, we're really gonna ramp things up. We have a lot of promotions coming up, some giveaways, cool stuff. I really, really hope to offer outdoor garden services in the spring as well. So we'll be working on that service over the winter,
Good for
knocking out the
you.
details for that. Yeah, so there's a lot of exciting things coming up. I'd love to be in the position to hire people outside of Somerville and Cambridge so we can start servicing clients in person around Greater Boston. And I think we're on the verge of being able to do that. So yeah,
Wonderful.
we're really growing and there's a lot of exciting things happening.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And well, I just wanted to ask if you could share the best way to contact you or learn more.
Yeah. We're on social media on Instagram and Facebook, which all of that is getting a facelift in the coming weeks. On Instagram at Taproot Nurseries and Facebook.com backslash Taproot Nurseries. So DMing us through either of those sources works or directly through our website, which is www.taprootnurseries.com. And there's an email. All of our socials and email are linked on our website, and our email is just taprootnurseries@gmail.com. So any of those ways are quick,
Great.
and I'll get it immediately.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Laura. It was great
thank
learning about
you.
you. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. It's life.
Very protective dog.
Aw.
So thank you again, Laura. Really appreciate your time.
Yes, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Let's Get Down to Business.